jack in and you're fucking 25 and you're about to, whatever, talk to the love of your life the first time. Some shit like that. We're just like, holy shit. Yeah, man. You can see how that can fucking...
I'll be honest, I think a lot of us are hoping for that.
Yeah. Just like, whatever. I just want to be here again, this moment, forever.
Like
Fuck
we
it.
could hang out with George, like a wild adventure or something,
Yeah, like your craziest...
Do a VR adventure with George.
Yeah, like your hardest laughing moment with that motherfucker. Yeah, just be able to go back there and just kind of rock that shit.
Yeah, well, man, I tell you, I'm glad you brought it to that. I mean, one of the reasons, I'm sure your listeners have plenty of reasons that you have shared why we talk about George, but seriously, it was real too. Like before I moved down to Florida, I'm now down in Florida. Matt was out at my place and we were working on the place, getting it ready for sale. Matt was a big part of making my house fully presentable and sellable. And it sold, we put it on the market on Friday night and Saturday morning it sold. So that's the skills. That's the skills from Matt right there.
That's results. No, anyway. Anyway. Yeah.
But we were sitting outside just taking a little break, and I had said something about George. And it wasn't disrespectful, but it was just true for me. Mm-hmm. And boom, the chair breaks right out from underneath me, and I fell on the floor.
Oh, that's right. It was that fast. It was instant. I was just that was crazy. Yeah, we were just talking about it for a split second. Yeah, you just mentioned it. We were just about to talk, pow, down you went. I was like, well, maybe didn't want to, who knows. Maybe that's the trickster's nature that he loved so much, coming in and just kicking the fucking leg out of one of those chairs off for you.
Indeed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I think part of the, like I said, George was always my ticket, pretty much into this posse. To a certain degree. We could go into for a while. I think Jesse and I are the same way. I can't think of any time that I didn't know him and his family and his, all of his family. Personally, we spent every 4th of July together our whole lives. And that's a major summer holiday. Yeah. And we spent every weekend, and our family shared faith. So we attended worship together. We've always known each other. Matt, for you, I remember the first time I met you. We were out in St. Charles, and this is me, and in my parents' car, we were in a station wagon over by not Grimm's, but whatever the Route 64 pharmacy, big pharmacy was there.
That was Grimm's. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So back behind Grimm's, there was a couple of apartment complexes before residential. Mm-hmm. And you and George were skating the sidewalk. You had a plywood ramp set up, and you guys were just hitting it. And we pulled over on the side. My dad pulled over. He's like, because George was always moving. And my dad, he loves people and he mentors people continuously, in beautiful ways, not in weird ways. Just
oh, that's cool.
Totally just loves people. I'll give you a quick side glance example.
I like to weird mentor you.
We were en route to Ohio, mm-hmm. and my dad gave some money to some people in Indiana. Well, when we were coming back the other way, those same people were there on the other side of the highway asking. Yeah. So he doesn't make a big deal about it, but he stopped and talked to him for 20 minutes. I don't know what he said, but that's what I'm talking about. That kind of exchange, not missing opportunities. He gave him money on the front side, but when he saw him on the back side, he gave him counsel, So
you piece of shit, don't get a goddamn job.
What's that?
You'll hear it when you listen back. Hey. Anyway, keep going. Sorry, you gave counsel. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So but anyway, so you didn't always see George a lot, and he was his uncle. So he took the time to be like, wow, George is here, and stop the car. But I was just looking from the car, and it was like, wow, cool, skateboard ramp and stuff like that. I don't know. I was just a little kid. But then you showed up in Batavia High School my sophomore year. And like I was in accelerated PE because I was in football, and you were in gym, but like we were in the same period, and there you are in the locker room. And I was just like, whoa! It was like, for me, it was so awesome, like because it had to mean that good times were just not far behind. So,
Oh yes, things. Yeah.
But you were over in Laura Lynn.
Yes, I lived over in Laura Lynn with my mom at that time. Yeah. And it was crazy because by the time I got to Batavia High School, I think I had just turned 18. So it was like it would have been like the end of my senior year, I guess. Or maybe I don't even remember.
They were they were just getting you through that year. They had a very cool schedule for you to get it done.
Yep, and it was still they gave me the because I was 18, I had the option to call myself in, and that kind of once I realized that it was a short trip, but that's okay. It was a short remainder of my semester, a truncated semester, one might say. However,
but you had that sweet job in St. Charles out with your buddy, is it Liz's dad?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Nichols, he had a publishing. Well, actually, it was more like a distribution company.
Yeah.
For many magazines. Yeah, I worked with Clay.
You were killing it out there. Lots of money.
Well, at that time, it seemed like it was okay. Looking back, it's quaint to see the perspectives we had when we were so much younger sometimes. And what
I'm just celebrating it.
Oh yeah, I hear you. It was good times, for sure. It was good times while it lasted. That was also the year of Juxtapose, 94.
Indeed.
A crazy year, man. Good times.
The best.
Yeah.
The best band that, only so few got to experience. It was real. You've not just been listening to a guitarist and a bassist talk about how fantastic their music was. It was an experience. It, as everything that they've said, it rocked and blew open Batavia. We were on the map. The police were very engaged in observing us because there was very intense energy happening there. And it wasn't new energy. It had all happened before. There was another heavy metal hair band that had a studio just 2 garages over from us. And they had stories as well from their time with their music. Not only that, but the nearest member, who had a studio and workshop in his trade, our good friend and brother, Dennis, killed himself in the garage next to the studio. It was real. It was powerful, and it was very real.
Yeah.
I mean, and we have Jessie to thank for it. Mama Jessie.
Oh, thank me.
No, dude. Because
I was talking about it, and I think, after watching you've seen Stranger Things, right?
Oh yes.
It kind of reminds, because we have Fermilab right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some kind of portal might have been opened with all that crazy energy in that area.
That fucking place was a nexus, man.
Are
you kidding?
Brother, I had never considered that. Thank you.
Yeah, right?
That place was a...
Fermi might have been doing it.
It came to me one day. I was like, man, maybe Fermilab had something to do with that, because
we were so close to it.
Yeah, there's some wild energy flying around that place.
Minutes. We're mere minutes from the place. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you for instance, because I talked about it being a reoccurrence, as if it's like Twilight Zone, and as if people there are still suffering or something. Maybe. I don't know. But the hair metal band. I can't remember their name, but this dude like came there and found us. He's like, wow, there's people here, because he had just come to like check out and kind of like revisit like an important place to him in his life.
It wasn't a Man of War, was it?
Man of War. Yeah.
Oh,
that's who it is.
Dave fucking Schenkel? Yeah.
Okay.
He came back. He came back.
Yeah. All right. So listen up. Listen up. If this story hasn't been told, this is the story.
All right.
So they started coming over. They started hanging out. Man of War. They started coming out and checking you guys play, and they were there a lot. So they started telling us stories about whenever they had played in the garage, 2 garages over. So they got pretty messed up. They got pretty messed up on drugs. And one of them was like concerned about his parole and stuff like that because of his toxicity. And the police came and raided the studio. So he says he jumped out of the studio and he ran down the street across the way towards Fermilab, I guess we'll say. Good for the narrative now, too. So he jumps across the street, Wilson Street, onto the other side and runs into the woods. He says the earth and roots reached up and grabbed him and ripped him down into the earth and pulled him for like 150 yards through the earth and then spit him back out. And they arrested him and his blood was clean.
Yeah, he got like purified. He was like super high on cocaine. You'd be like injecting it.
Yeah, wasn't that the line?
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, it was Chris.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit with with Matt, the other Matt Costner.
Yeah, you remember Matt Costner?
Oh yeah. Matt Costner. Okay, I love you, brother, and I still love your hair. You're the man, dude, forever, forever. But you ended up with like some juxtaposed tapes that like George was like dying over, like that you had. So if you still got him kicking around,
oh, is he hanging on to some of the stuff?
He's got a little bit. Potentially. Not much, Matt. I love you, but George was always upset about it. He said he brought you some early stuff and that you had it. So just peek around.
It would be interesting to hear that. Yeah. Well,
I don't mean to be a sneak. That's basically what I am in this narrative. That's pretty much why there's not more of me, was because, like, I mean, George, like, I got George in trouble a couple of times, so it was kind of like he was always just ready to kick my butt. So he even did beat me out a couple times, even after Juxtapose had started, you know?
There might have been a little bit of moments of tap dancery that he was not fond of, but hey, man, you know, but it happens. Hey, well, you see, that's the thing, though. That place was a nexus of some kind because people would go there and have like extraordinary experiences. So it stands to reason that passions would run equally as high, and so tensions are likely to spark and things in a place like that with a lot of very kind of individualists or whatever, independent thinkers.
Yeah, it was like everything.
Artists, it's gonna clash.
Everything that happened there was kind of inflammatory. You know what I'm saying? It was like anything that happened just like led to something bigger and crazier.
Oh.
You know, it was wild.
I'm still amazed that my uncle, who, okay, when you'd walk into the shop, the wall to the right, the big wall to the right, that wall was shared by my uncle, who had a storage space in there. It was just a bunch of fucking bullshit. He's a hoarder. It was all nuts shit. But he would sit there. I mean, we'd have it cranked to fucking 11, you know? And he would be pounding on the other side of the wall. Shut up! But never once did he fucking come around and knock on the door when it was quiet, knock on the door and say, hey, what the fuck? You know, he never had the I'm like, you nutless wondering motherfucker. So it always made me giggle, man, because I knew he was just over there flipping the fuck out. And